Good afternoon, everyone. We have a very special announcement. Marcus is joining me. Ron's going to be here in a few minutes. We have some breaking news that came out. Drone DJ posted it. There are full pictures of the Mavic Air 2. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and share the screen and let you guys take a look at this. Now, apparently they were leaked out of Brazil is what we're hearing. And here's an article here from Drone DJ. Now, first of all, we'll talk about the specs here. The DJI Mavic trademark Air 2 features a new folding design, fully stabilized tri-axial camera that captures 4K videos and 48 megapixel photos. Active Track 3.0, point of interest 3.0, quick shot, and advanced flight systems 2.0, which leads me to believe that's OcuSync 2.0. After shots easily, Mavic Air 2 achieves a maximum flying speed of 68.4 kilometers per hour and a maximum flying time of 34 minutes. Now up here they talk about the new DJI Mavic 2 Pro can reach a speed and at 34 minutes. Basically the same thing. If correct, the 60 frames per second would be more than the more expensive Mavic 2 Pro Zoom models. Also, the controller looks to work over 10 kilometers, which would be a huge range increase. Okay. Now, this is first spotted by Brazilian website Drone Friendly via YouTube channel Drones Model Lissimo. Okay. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start sharing the pictures here. Now, here's the following picture, and you know, Marcus, my first thing is it's a grown-up Mavic Mini.
Well, it is. Although I have to tell you, Bill, I looked at this and it answered some questions, but made me think of a couple others. But what the thing that did stick out to me is that it for sure is the Mavic Air 2. Remember, there were rumors that they were going to just call this a Mavic, not a Mavic Air.
Yeah, you know, and well, you can tell obviously this is a test model and everything, but you know, the first clue that you get is you look up front here and you take a look. That's definitely a pretty robust gimbal cover up on the front right there.
Right. It reminds me of the original Mavic Pro, right?
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is a very telling picture. You get to see the whole thing. Now apparently they said, I guess the back legs, instead of doing the flip under thing that the Mavic has always done, that they're going to fold straight in. Which I
don't. Look at that, Bill. They don't. They flip
don't. Okay, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I can see. You're right. Okay. They're on those hinges right there.
Right.
So, okay, let's move to the next one here. Now you can tell one of the things that you notice from this picture is there's no side sensors here. That's just an air a port for ventilation. There's no side sensor on here at all.
Which makes sense, doesn't it? Because they do. This one will not have 360 obstacle avoidance because they want to leave that for their flagship.
Exactly. That makes perfect sense. And then here, obviously, you get to see, and you can't read it. You can see DJI SE, DJI Technology Company Limited, lists the model number, and it's really hard to read right here. But it looks like it says, I guess the last word is China right here. So evidently, like I was sharing with Marcus, I strongly suspect that someone got a hold of the FCC Grant ID photos, which, you know, that company out of Brazil, kudos to you guys for doing that. Not to
interrupt you, but I just noticed something here that's worth mentioning. Those rear legs are not touching the ground. No, yeah, well, that shows it better. Yeah. So there's a stand underneath the drone, but the back legs do not touch the ground.
Yeah, that's real. That's a real good point. Of course, you do see obstacle avoidance in the back here. Okay, that's nice.
Yes.
Now the battery here is here too. Now I just saw, I think 11.55 volts, and I listed the milliamp hours in the chat. I want to welcome everybody here. I'm sorry, Stephen Ewing, showing pictures for the Mavic Air 2. They were just released. Stephen, Ray Kelly, thanks for joining. Terry, Ron Levesque, Hubsan Choice. Thank you guys for all showing up here. 11.55 volts. Gosh, forget the milliamp hours. I think I sent that to you guys in that text. So, but yeah, this is real. I'm going to go back here so you guys can take another look at this.
Hang on, let me go back and look at that text, Bill. Yeah, 11.55 volts, 3,500 milliamp hours.
Okay, now I got some more news for everybody else too. What I did was I kind of did some homework this afternoon, and I went out to the FCC grant ID database. 3X Drones, thanks for stopping by. I went out to the FCC grant ID database, and I took the listed frequencies and I plugged them into Google and did a search on megahertz. And you know what came up? The Mavic 2 and the Mavic Pro when it went in and it found those frequencies. So that tells me without a doubt, because it's using those frequencies specifically, that we're going to have OcuSync in this. Marcus, that's fantastic.
Well, you just made my day. Yeah, that OcuSync is, well, you know, we've discussed this before. That is, if that is not included on this drone, it just won't reach the audience that it otherwise would.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. And, you know, they're not going to shoot themselves in the foot on this one. Okay. You know, and I'll say it before, and I've said it again. I know I've said it to you and to Ron before. These pictures being leaked aren't an accident. Okay. You know, through back channels, DJI lets these photos out. Okay. And they've always done that before. Okay. And they just chose a different back channel this time, which was a good one. I mean, you know, apparently they're pretty good. Hope they offer a smart controller bundle. Greg, you know, that would be incredible if they did. Now, if you watch Ron's latest video, and by the way, Ron's gonna try to join us here in a few. If you watch Ron's latest video, he does talk about there will be two models for this. One just by the drone by itself, and one with the new ADS-B receiver in it.
What do you think of that, Bill? That kind of blew my mind. I thought now you remember when they announced, when this is probably 6 months ago or maybe longer, that DJI said every drone that we produce moving forward that's more than 249 grams will have ADS-B.
Right there, AirSense, which is what DJI's calling. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Marcus. I thought that it was going to be kind of like a cut and dry, just an automatic deal. And I can tell you this right now, for me, that's a no-brainer, okay? Because I've seen ADS-B on a Matrice, and the information that it gives you is incredible. I mean, you know, you cran your neck around, you're looking, you hear, and everything, and you're still not sure. Okay.
Bill, I'll pay up for that if it's necessary.
Oh, I agree too. I agree 100%, Marcus. I'd do the same thing. Absolutely, no qualms about that. I mean, it's just too good to pass up. Now, the specs that we're getting here from Drone DJ, and let me go ahead and I'm going to put those back on here. Now, remember again, Drone DJ. Hey, Kestalu's no longer with Drone DJ. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody knows that here. Okay, because a lot of people don't know he has his new. It's Drone XL. And by the way, he shared with me. Here's Ron. Hey, Ron.
Hello, gentlemen. How you doing today?
We are doing fantastic.
You guys, have you guys ordered the Mavic Air 2 yet?
With ADS-B.
With I can't say those letters. Yes. Both editions had that AD, or just the 949 one?
I think it's just going to be the 949 one, Ron. That's exactly what Marcus and I were just talking about. Is, you know, and would you pay extra for something like that? I'm like, okay, where do I sign? You know, it's one of those. What do you think, Ron?
Well, Philly Mike convinced me. Well, not convinced me, but he told me it's not worth it. He said he's flew the Matrice that's had that feature for years, and he said it did nothing for him. He said having a little beepy noise and a little icon of a plane flying 4,000 feet above his head just distracted him rather than helped him fly.
Well, see, you know, that's for commercial traffic, and I understand where he's coming from, because up until this year, you know, ADS-B was not required on your private planes like your Cessnas and your Piper Cubs and everything. Okay. But anything as of January 1st this year had to have an ADS-B transmitter in it. So, you know, so we'll know when they're, and that includes helicopters too, because they're notorious. I mean, they can fly very low.
There are drone pilots worse than me. Those low flying helicopters.
Oh my gosh, they're
crazy.
crazy.
Hey Bill, so can I give you 2 examples of why I'm very excited to have ADSB on there?
Go for it.
Examples that I've had. So as you guys know, a couple of places that I fly is up at Lucky Peak Reservoir,
right,
and then the Snake River Canyon. So I've been out in both of these occasions. That this wasn't like it was a close call or anything at all. But in fact, a couple of times out at the Snake River Canyon, I either already had my drone landed or I had it over the side on the land part of the canyon, not over the canyon itself. And I'd hear the noise and I'd see an airplane. And in one case, the guy was down in the canyon, and they're moving pretty damn fast. So to know that was coming would be an advantage. Then out at Lucky Peak Reservoir, I have seen a couple times now, like I said, in both occasions, my drone was already landed and on the ground. But a military Black Hawk helicopter, being really low to the reservoir, flying over the top of the reservoir at high speed. So if you have that indication, it would give you more of a chance to make sure you were the heck out of the way.
Yeah, I agree. I want to welcome a lot of people that showed up: Chris Bash, Jay Santiago, Floyd Moats, Rick Halber. Rick, how you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Rob Matters, Vlog Style, Frank Walker. A lot of people, think that it's until you actually see it, and you're in instances like Marcus just said. I mean, it's invaluable, and especially for me. All right, we kind of live in a traffic pattern towards MacDill Air Force Base. All right, and there's been occasion now. I think I may have shared this. I would have loved to have got it on video, but I was way too late. There were some A-10 Warthogs that probably weren't more than 300 feet above the ground. And I mean, they were huge. I mean, just 300 feet in the sky. These things are just ginormous, flying over the house. Everything was shaking because of the vibrations and everything. I mean, it was pretty cool, but they're there, okay? And they came out of absolutely nowhere. So, it's one of those things. Unless you've seen it and used it, or unless you've been where you've had close calls, you don't realize the value of it. Now, I know a lot of you may not need something like this. Okay, so that's why you can get the other option. So maybe it's an okay thing that DJI did that, to not offer that. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, Bill, I think the more important question than whether you need. I'm going to say AD from the rest of it because I can't. Anytime I say AD, I mean, I'm going to make my point, and I'm going to ask you a second question: what those letters mean. But let me make my point first. I think the more important question is whether you should have it or not. Is again, we know how these things go when they go on sale. When this thing is released, which one will be harder to get? Like, and will that'll make most people's minds up. If I go to DJI, online, or I go into Best Buy, if the one I want's not available, will I grab the other one? So my question to both of you, which one do you think will be the hardest one to get your hands on in the first initial week of launch?
Okay, your first question, Ron, automatic dependent surveillance broadcast.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah. But which one would be more popular? Well, probably the cheaper one. But I'm saying, I would like to know, to Ron's point in talking to Philly Mike and Bill, I'd like to, hopefully when they do the introduction, we'll see some kind of a demonstration of it. And like Ron said, hopefully it's more than just a blip on the screen, right? I mean, what you really want to know is vector, altitude, those kind of things, so that you could actively avoid a situation. And I would assume that it would have that. And Ron, maybe what Philly Mike was looking at was an early version. I don't know.
Yeah. And here's another thing: if you don't have to order the minute it comes out, of course, probably the 27th, probably at 9:35. all the big name reviewers that already have this, their reviews will pop out and they'll show how AD works in real life for a real user. So if you don't have to hit the buy button the first second, you can study that on what's the guy you met him at CS. He gets all these. He had the Mini. Aldrin
Astasio.
At 9:35, he may have released 10 videos, Bill.
Yeah, that
one video just be on AD.
Probably Rick Smith and probably who else? I don't know.
Everybody that's not talking to us now because they haven't can't talk to us anymore.
It's so funny because you look at the pattern of videos that have come on. I know Aldrin, he cranks out a lot of videos. He hasn't been putting out any lately. And I'm kind of like, that's a foregone conclusion. I bet Kelly's probably got one. And my other bet, Rick Smith probably's got one, because I've sent him, Rick, a couple emails and he hasn't answered me. And that's usually a good sign that he probably has that. Now, also our friend, Hey Kestelou, I was just telling Marcus before you joined, he pinged me this morning. He joined my Mavic Air 2 group on Facebook. Good. And he says, I really can't be talking right now because I'm under the embargo. So, I mean, that in the embargo, actually, it's really interesting. That expires like around 9:35 p.m. that night, like 5 minutes after it gets out.
And that's when all the videos drop.
Yeah. So now here's another question, and I wanted to pose this to both of you. Okay. Do you think, and this is just I just want to hit you guys up and see what you think. Okay. Do you think this time around it's going to be faster to order through DJI or do it through Best Buy? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I'll keep letting Marcus go first, and we go around clockwise.
That's just a crapshoot, Bill. I mean, let's hope that they learned from the Mini and are better prepared this time. And so I can tell you, for my part, I am just going to order it directly from DJI and be patient and leave it at that. I probably got a little overexcited on when the Mini came out.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. Well, I did what Marcus said. I ordered straight from DJI the first time. I was patient, and and I was rewarded with my Mini getting stuck in customs somewhere in like some place in the South or whatever. But to answer Bill's question, whatever my strategy is, whether it's go DJI all the way or go the Best Buy, whatever I do, everybody else do the opposite, and you'll get it sooner than me. Whatever my strategy will be the worst strategy, no matter what I pick. But here's what I want to ask Bill. What about that news that broke today from the Brazil FCC type of grant, where they discovered that this camera will be a 4K 60, and it will take a 48 megapixel picture file or whatever? Were you impressed by those numbers?
Off the charts. And here's the thing, and a lot of people have already brought this up, and I'll get your guys' feedback on this too. Okay, this makes that camera, quote unquote, okay, better than the Mavic 2's camera, Pro's camera. I mean,
say it ain't so, Bill.
Say it ain't so, Ron. It's like does this render the Mavic 2 Pro, inoperative kind of a thing?
My Mavic 2 Pro may be sitting out by the garbage cans or whatever on the 27th or whatever, in the recycle bin.
It'll be sitting out on eBay and have a crooked sign that said "for sale" on it. Kind of like
slightly used.
Yeah, slightly used kind of a thing.
Only flown by a little old lady on Sundays going to church.
That's right. Kick the tires. It'll be fine. For me, I'm probably going to do DJI this time around. Okay. Oh. Because, with everything going on, it's pretty restrictive down here. So that's why I haven't been going out flying. Right. They're really watching a lot, and our curfew was just lifted, which is kind of nice. And there's some semblance of normalcy, I think, is on the horizon. But, there's no rush to get it, because Aldrin's going to come out with his videos, Kelly's going to come out with his videos, Rick's going to come out with his videos, those that get it, and it's going to be good, because I think it gives us some time to digest all this and to be able to see some of the things that they maybe ran into, some of the pitfalls that they ran into. So that's my number one thing. And number two,
here's another thought I had, Bill, and I'll let Marcus answer that question, but I want to forget this thought. do you think when the initial release is on 27th, do you think both models will be ready to go from the get-go, or like say like an Evo 2 Pro type style, that one with the ADSB will come a little bit later? You'll have to wait a couple extra weeks to get the uprated model.
No, I think it'll be out ready to roll.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead,
Marcus. I'll let Marcus answer Bill's question, and he can answer my question too while he's doing it.
What was your question, Bill? I forgot already.
About the 4K.
Waiting for the review.
Waiting for review.
And then we may not be able to fly it right away because of the restrictions for the corona.
Well, yeah, there's some truth to that. Although I'll bet you by the time we get to the end of the month, we'll know more about when those restrictions might be lifted. And the fact is we wouldn't have the drone in hand till probably after they are lifted. So, but whether I just push that button right there that night or wait till later depends on what DJI reveals on their website. If it is a really and there's over the top features that I feel are important, and the price point. If what we're talking about here is if the price point is beyond what we think, and if everything's an option, like you said, ADSB. The other thing that would push me to act immediately is if it had the what's the name of the controller, Ron?
Smart controller.
The smart controller, yeah. If it had the smart controller available right then, yeah, I'd probably just push the button right that very second.
I'll answer Bill's question about the restrictions.
Yes.
Right now, we have a kind of a unfirmed date of April 30th for the federal government to kind of ease up on the restrictions and get people back to work. I mean, that number could change. I think Trump's going to talk about it today, so we may get an update in that. And governors in certain states that are hit hard, they'll open up later than probably the national thing. But I mean, I don't know if you've got this confirmed, Bill, but I've heard that the actual ship date is May 11th.
Okay.
And this is unconfirmed. This is rumor, unconfirmed, but I've seen in more than one source, or related sources, say that the ship date will be the 11th, which is 2 weeks from the date of the announcement. We'll call it.
Yeah.
And the 11th is a Monday too. So if we follow the course of the Mavic Mini, it came like I got it the Thursday after the Monday release date. So we'll say you're going to be getting this drone probably about the middle of May. So a lot of states may have eased up quite a bit on their lockdowns by then. Again, I'm just speculating. I know some states are really hit, and I don't mean to downplay the coronavirus in the hard hit states like my own state, New Jersey. There's people dying every day. The numbers are going up, and I don't want to, make it sound like this isn't important. If they say shut it down for the whole month of May, whatever our president, our governors, or our officials say, I'm on board with it totally. But I'm just thinking we're not, as regular users, we're not going to have that drone in our hand until the middle of May. Bill.
Yeah, and for me, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. And here's this, and I'm going to throw this little caveat in here, and I think you guys will like this. Guess what? I think will probably be coming very shortly around the same general time frame. Okay, if what I think is true, and I've been crossing my fingers and toes, that Banggood is going to be shipping the Fimi X8 SE 2020 around the same time. So here you are. You have a perfect storm. Okay.
Oh wow.
Get your Mavic Air 2, and then the next day in the mail, FedEx is dropping off your Fimi X8 SE 2020. I mean, it's like the best of both worlds.
And your Evo 2 coming that same week.
Yeah, and here's Marcus. Marcus only has two hands. Okay, so he can hold the Mavic Air 2 in one and the Fimi X8 SE 2020 in the other. It's like, which one do I fly first? We do have a lot of people out of jobs now. Maybe Marcus could hire an assistant. A drone reviewer to help him out with the two drones. That's true. He could always, because I want to see this. Marcus is going to put out a video. It's going to be Mavic Air 2, Fimi X8 SE first flights. It's going to be both of the same.
I mean, with all those drones, Marcus, he could hit a 100, 200,000 subscribers, he could be right up there like the big guns or whatever.
Like Kelly
making his millions.
And Aldrin, I mean, you know, and Rick, you know, just right up there in the upper stratosphere with this. I mean, this is great. Well, you know, and here's the thing with, you know, and I know there's been some comments about the smart controller with this. I got to say this, guys. You know, you don't realize until you've used the smart controller, and Ron will testify to this, okay? You don't realize how valuable that is to use that and how easy. And I'll tell you what, I thought it was easy getting the Mavic Mini up sometimes, like when I caught that sunset. But I'll tell you what, there was another sunset, and my Mini's batteries were charging, so I had to grab the Mavic 2 Pro. I was up in the air in 3 minutes. Boom, outside, up in the air. You know, no questions asked. I mean, you know, and reading that screen in the bright sunshine and the bright sunlight, and where better in Florida to test something like that?
Oh, the Sunshine State.
It's crystal clear. I mean, it really is. There's there's absolutely no question about that.
To add to Bill's point, I mean, you know, with the Mavic Mini, you know, I get that out and I got to get the phone in there and get that cord around, like Marcus says. Then the things that stick around, and all our phones are edge to edge down. You can't swipe it open or whatever. If I had the Pro would already be up. It would already have a prize-winning sunset photo or video before the Mini even gets launched. And nothing against the Mini, only because I got to, you know, get this thing in the controller and then get the cord in right, and then swipe the thing open. Again, you can't even get it swiped open right and get the app open. I'm already like the Bill's point. The Pro's already flying. It's already recording 4K video.
Yeah.
Hey, so I got a question for the two of you.
Okay.
On the hot seat.
I'm taking a page out of the Ron Brown.
In the hot seat.
So we have all heard rumors that a Mavic 3 will not be far behind. Like by
July,
summer or so, mid to late summer, we could see a Mavic 3. Would that affect your decision as to whether you bought this drone or not?
Go ahead, Ron.
I'll go in the clockwise order here. This Mavic Air 2, by these specs, it may be so good, most people may not need to buy that that Mavic 3, especially if its big features 8K or something like that or whatever. We know from a chat here, I want to say the majority of our people that join us on these shows have no interest in 8K or 6K or whatever. This may be the perfect drone for most of our users. Now, you got your Billy Kyles who are doing professional work. He may need the Mavic 3 because of something that, you know, like a pro level feature, whatever. But to, you know, I hate to say it, our park flyers or backyard flyers or whatever, this may be the ultimate drone. Bill?
Yeah, you know, and I'll tell you what, I really kind of agree with Ron here in this. But I think for me, I think a lot of us, here's the thing. Okay, why get a Chevy when you can get a Cadillac? Okay, you know, the Chevy will get you from point A to point B. Does it well. You still have air conditioning and all that. But you know what? You got some nice bells and whistles on that Cadillac that you just can't live without. And I tell you what, and I'll speak to what Marcus always says about this. And this, I love Marcus. The first time he said this, I was just like, you know what? This guy is a freaking genius. He goes, you know what? Frank Wang has something on there that you didn't know that you wanted. Okay. And I love when Marcus says that. I just spot on. And you know what? There's going to be something on the Mavic Air 2 like that. And there's going to be something on the Mavic 3. It's just like it's going to happen. You know that, okay? Now, I think the big draw on the Mavic 3 for me, I mean, and I've seen absolutely zero information on it. I think it was made to compete with Skydio 2. So I think you're going to see some advanced tracking features on it, okay? I also think you're going to see the 360 obstacle avoidance continue with OcuSync 2.0. I think you're going to see a 1-inch 4K 60. I don't think they're gonna play Autel's game. Okay, I don't think they're gonna go more than 4K on this because, like you said, everybody in our chats that we see here, you know, the 4K, you know, Billy Kyle, Ken Dono, okay, they're the guys that are going to enjoy that and use that and be able to process stuff like that. For most of us, not going to happen. So for me, I'll tell you what, and I will do this. I love my Mavic 2 Pro, but I'll tell you what, a Mavic 3 comes along, DocuSync 2.0, works with a smart controller. Guess what's getting listed on eBay? Okay. You know, I don't have any problem with that. None whatsoever. So
if you knew for sure that the Mavic 3 was coming, say in July, you would skip this Mavic Air 2 and just keep your money in your back pocket.
Nope, I'd still get the Mavic Air 2.
You're
sleeping on the couch.
You're doing the Ken Dono, yeah.
You're sleeping on the couch.
You're getting both. But do you agree though that the Mavic Air 2 may be enough drone for the majority of users out there?
I agree, Ron. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, for the majority of people, they may say, you know, they were looking at getting maybe a Mavic 2 right now. Here's what I have to say to people right now that are contemplating buying a drone. Wait a week. You know, wait till the 27th. Find out what's on this, okay? And if it's going to meet your needs, okay, it's going to be under $1,000 without a fly more kit. Is pretty much what we're hearing. So if that's the deal, I mean, that's really a no-brainer to get 4K 60 in a DJI product under $1,000. Okay, sign me up.
If the specs that we're hearing about, if the specs are 90% true. And with the most important specs I can see, but if these specs are anywhere as close to being 95% true for $799, this may be the ultimate drone buy of all time.
It could be. Marcus, what are your thoughts?
No, I think you're spot on, and I think Ron is spot on. So the only thing is, we think about obstacle avoidance, and 360 obstacle avoidance has become a big deal. You know, particularly since the Skydio came out, and then of course now Autel is offering it on their drones. But in reality, how often do you need that? I like it, but because I already have the Skydio, it may not be as important to me on this Mavic. And like Ron said, for a lot of people, gosh, it's just as much drone as you're going to need. I can say that you know, when you start getting into those more sophisticated cameras, like on those new Autel drones, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of above my pay grade, and I don't know that I could take advantage of it. I would be paying money for something that I probably personally would never use, and that plays into right what Ron said. For probably 90% of us, this new Mavic Air is going to be all the drone we'd ever need.
Hey, can I throw in real fast? Everybody in the chat, everybody that's saying like JC or whatever, thanks for the comments, the shout outs. I got this impromptu, so I don't have a second screen up, so I can't type in and respond to the people in the chat. So I'm not ignoring anybody in that chat that's asking me something or compliment me. I don't have a second window up, so I don't have the ability to answer and chat with you. But thanks for all the great comments, and thanks for joining us impromptu down here. Okay, now back to our regularly scheduled programming, Bill.
Well, we're going to kind of wrap things up here just a little bit. You know, I just wanted to get this out here. I wanted to get Ron and Marcus on, and thankfully we're all available to do this here, because, you know, I think we need to, you need to see these pictures. I mean, it's part of the process, and it's part of this process, and I think it's a good thing. And if, like Ron said, if these specs are like 95, you know, 99% of the way there, okay, this is going to be a no-brainer. And, you know, having this 4K 60 under $1,000 on a DJI drone, okay, it's really a no-brainer, guys. Closing thoughts, Marcus.
You know what? I can't wait until the 27th. It's going to be fun to see that drone unveiled, and then we'll all really know, and all the speculation will be over, and we'll probably have a better idea whether the three of us are going to hit that button or not.
Ron,
this is the most excited I've been about a drone in a long time, and because, you know, I mean, I know the Mavic 2 Pro, you know, was better, you know, when it came out, but I mean, because of the price point of this is the perfect storm features and price points. So I haven't been this excited for a drone since I can't tell you when. Remember when the Mini came out, I was kind of ho-hum. I said, this thing, I don't know if I'm going to order it, and of course I was all wrong. It was a much better drone than I ever thought it was going to be. But this one, again, I can't remember the last time I've been excited about a new product like this. Bill?
Ron, thank you so much. I agree. I'm excited as well too, because it's like I was excited about the Mini, but it was a different kind of excitement. With something like this, this is this is kind of bridging that gap between the Mini and the Mavic 2, and in a lot of ways, from what we're seeing spec wise, it could even exceed the Mavic 2 in some of the specs as far as the camera is concerned.
But we didn't. I don't know if we mentioned this, but I think this has a brand new camera that's never been in another DJI drone. They've come up. This is a new camera because the specs don't match any other DJI drone or whatever. So this, we have a new camera, and it, it could be an awesome camera.
That's a great point, Ron. I mean, that's something that I think DJI's really done their homework here, because if you look at the size, okay, this is bigger than the old Mavic Air, but it's smaller than the Mavic 2. So they really didn't have a camera size wise to go in there. So yeah, they probably did this from the ground up, which was very smart of DJI. I mean, they're a step ahead, and they're a reason they're the leading drone consumer drone company in the world. Is that they're a step ahead always.
Even though the U.S. government's trying to stop them, they still won't be stopped or whatever.
It's like the U.S. Don't get me started on China, because my wife and I had a wonderful discussion before going to bed about that last night. Good Lord. I won't even go there, because that's
I don't mean anything political by it, but it just seems, even though forces seem to be working against DJI, it doesn't keep them down and keep them from innovating. And sure, I wish an American company was making these great drones. Don't get me wrong or whatever, but and Skydio made a very first good entry into the market, but it's a lot of catching up needs to be done over here.
Oh yeah, I agree. And the other thing, and I'll say this real quick before we close here, when you're buying a drone off of, let's say, DroneWorks or Carolina Drones or Florida Drone Supply, to name a few, or Best Buy or B&H Photo, okay, you're supporting Americans when you do that, guys. Okay, yep. For those of you who think, are dead set against, all this about the Chinese, they make money off of this. It's not a ton of money. I mean, they make it up in volume. Is how they do this. Okay.
Yeah. Remember, when you walk into Walmart, outside of the food, everything in Walmart came from China.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. So understand something. Okay, you're supporting Americans when you're doing this, and this is a time right now we need to do this. Okay, so if you want to support Americans, a great way to do it. Buy it from Carolina Drones, DroneWorks, B&H Photo, places like that. DumbTube, thanks for the thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Good job, DumbTube.
Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well over there. And again, before I absolutely close, our well wishes are with everyone around the world right now. This is a time to we're getting to where we're going to have the president is going to be on at 6 o'clock and talk more about getting the economy restarted, and they want to do things safely. Okay. It's paramount that, our government, their number one focus is our health and safety. And they want to do it in such a way so as not to cause this to flare up again and everything. So, and with all of you that are around the world that are in lockdown, we're your brothers, we're your sisters. Okay. And like Mr. Rogers said, and I've been saying it, his 3 rules for success are be nice, be nice, and be nice. And please, everybody do that. Once again, it will be a great day to fly, but until then, stay inside and stay alive. We'll see you. We'll catch you later. Oh, and I also want to say this before we close, okay? Now, I've purchased an upgraded StreamYard, so guess what we're going to be doing on the 27th? We're going to be having, guess what, a simulcast. It'll be ZinoNation that night and BillTheDroneReviewer on at the same time. So you you're gonna get double. It'll be like a Big Mac, okay? Like twice as much meat, okay, with all of us on there. So, but we're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be a great night. You're gonna see us live doing this. I mean, I think it's incredible. Well, everyone, take care, be safe, and once again, stay inside and stay alive. Till later, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Have a good day.
Bye now.